Alright guys, we've covered all the basic meals, pre and post-workout, lunches and dinners, and now I want to talk about snacks. And I think all the way back to when we were talking about intermittent fasting and different diet methodologies, and I've mentioned many times through this course that we've got kind of a format that I think is most appropriate where some people, especially on an inactive day, may be okay with three meals, three main meals, like tradition would have us believe was the norm: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think with some really good training, you might need a pre and or post-workout meal, depending on how they may coincide with your other main meals. But I really end up eating probably on average about 4 or 5 times a day, and I think that gives us a really good sweet spot between having too many meals, so then they become too small and we don't get filled up. We kind of create some cumulative hunger, or having too large of meals where we're storing more body fat. So I'm really looking for those 3 main meals. One of those main meals may be replaced by the combination of pre and post workout, but then we're still going to have an opportunity for a snack or two when we're hungry. So the way this works for me, as just one anecdote, is that since I do a pretty good little cardio in the morning and have a post-workout breakfast that's substantial right now: oatmeal, flaxseed oil, protein powder, I'm really not hungry till lunch. So then I can have something that has protein and fibrous carbs, a little bit of starch. But then I'm going to train in the afternoon, so my afternoon snack really becomes my pre-workout. Then I might have a post-workout because my dinner might be later. So you could see in that scenario how I really don't have any snacks. It's breakfast, lunch, pre and post workouts, and then dinner. And so that really could be the end of my day. But if my dinner is light, I could have a snack later in the day. Or if my workout is later, I know I've had a good lunch, so I might end up having a small snack, which could be something like a handful of pretzels. I think it's really important when we're speaking of objectivity to count out the right serving size. Could be a protein bar, could be something like Greek yogurt with some fruit or granola. There are all kinds of ways you can create a good snack. I would focus on using the snacks as the bridges between meals. So bridges in terms of macronutrients. Is this a place where you might need some protein because you've got really long time between meals, and that would help with hunger and making sure that you're not in a catabolic environment? Or maybe you've had 2 really good meals, one previous and then one upcoming with protein, and you just need a little carb buffer to get you between those 2. That can be fine. Late night snacks. We've talked about intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating, and how you might not want to have food after dinner. But what if you do? What if you stay up really late and dinner was early or dinner was light and you do need a little snack in there? Even something like carbs, you don't have to consider that completely off the table. There's no rule that says you can't have carbs at night. You just don't want to have a ton. You want to make sure it fits your day's macronutrient profile goal, and that can be totally fine. But this is something that's interesting. I love with my own clients to talk about meal planning and answer those questions to see how this makes you feel, how it affects your goals, and it might be something you just completely prefer versus something that might be more conventional. So again, another place to really ask your coach some questions about specific meal planning and discuss this in the community with other peers.